Hey guys, here we are for yet another M14 draft. I've been down at PAX the last few days. It's good to get back in the old studio here to fire off a draft. What do we want to take out of this pack? Johnny's Chosen's okay. Maybe not quite as good as I'd hoped after seeing it. Divination's always good. Elvish Mystic, Pacifism, Woodborn Behemoth, even a Fire Shrieker can do some work. A lot of good options in this pack. Not a lot of blue cards. I could just take Divination and kind of cut it. I could also just take Woodborn Behemoth. I'm only passing a Mystic, which is actually pretty good. These are probably closer than I think, but I really like Behemoth. I'll take Divination. Kind of a sucker for a 2-for-1, right? I mean, what am I going to do? Turn it down? All right, here's a Warden of Evos Isle. Yeah, I think it's the best card in the pack. And it happens to be in the color that we initially chose, so yeah, let's run that. Okay. There's a Time Ebb and a Liturgy of Blood, also a lot of other black cards here. I'm going to take Liturgy. Time Ebb's really good, one of my favorite cards in the set, but Liturgy's hard removal. And this is about right where I want to be picking it up, third pick. Not ashamed to first pick one if I must. I'm going to take Essence Scatter out of this pack. I think it's probably the best card in the pack anyway. Maybe Shiv's Embrace has a higher upside or something, but I think Essence Scatter is really good. Jeez, this is sweet. Claustrophobia coming around this late. It's a really good thing for us, even over another Liturgy of Blood. I mean, Claustrophobia does basically the same job that Liturgy does, but it's in our core color here so far, and I'm really happy to see that. Have to remember that we're still open. I mean, we're clearly base blue at this point in the draft, but we've only just got the one Liturgy of Blood. I mean, it looks like black is also fairly open, so it's something that we could certainly consider here, but no need to push too hard. And along those same lines, I'm going to take the Time Ebb here instead of the Marauding Maulhorn or the Corpse Hauler, even though they're probably a little bit better, especially the Maulhorn. But like I said, I really like Time Ebb anyway, and I kind of like to just cut blue. All right, well, I could just take a Festering Newt. Not a card I'm particularly fond of, but it's okay. I think the best card in the pack is probably the Spore Mound, so I'll just take that. I do love blue-green. All right, so I'm going to take the Mind Rot here. Spell Blast is unplayable. Lead Arcanist is really asking a lot. And Mind Rot's okay. The Anti-Divination, it's fine. All right. Nothing really here. Just kind of nothing. I'll take the Shrivel for the sideboard, I guess. Really don't like that Coral Merfolk. Just not a great set for a card like that. There have been sets where that guy actually just serves a nice role as kind of a bear type 2-drop, but this isn't the one. All right, take an Altar's Reap there. Probably just going to take the Tutor here. I probably won't end up running it, but I think that it has a better chance of making the cut over a second Altar's Reap. Also, we've only got one creature. So, Altar's Reap definitely not looking to be high on our list here. What is that? That's an Undead Minotaur down there. Sarah Angel's certainly on the list of cards that we could take out of this pack. I mean, there's really not much here. I mean, a Vampire Warlord's pretty unexciting. I'm actually just going to take Sarah Angel here and see what happens. Ooh. That's nice. I like that guy. That's a lucky pickup. Oh, this is pretty lucky too. I was pretty excited about the Archaeomancer, even the Sensory Deprivation, but Sengir Vampire, the Black Sarah Angel, get in there. That makes that decision a lot easier about which direction to go. Now we're going to need to find... Well, we just need to find some ways to make sure that we can completely stabilize the board. We've got card draw, we've got some creatures, we've got some removal, but I'd love to pick up a Wall of Frost, something like that. This is the kind of deck that actually could potentially use a Millstone as well, which is kind of interesting. We'll see how it goes from here. This pack will dictate a lot. I expect a pretty good third pack. This one, I'm not sure. All right, what have we? Well, really not much. Armored Cankrit's Bloodbaron Duress. Best card in the pack is Chandra's Outrage. Shock's also quite nice. I guess I'm going to take the Bloodbaron here because it's most likely to actually make the cut in the deck. I'll also take a Cancel because it just will make the cut. Format is so slow that you can actually just run Cancels and Essence Scatters kind of as many as you want. All right, looks like things have gotten cut pretty harshly here. We're going to stay strong, but I do believe that even though we got shipped a Jace's Mindseeker and a Liturgy, that we are being cut a little bit here. Disperse, pretty easy pick, I think, there. Having a Disperse and a Time Ebb are exactly the kind of things that I would love to have at my disposal in a deck like this. I like the Nightwing Shade here. In sets of the past, I might have taken a Ring Flesh, but I think Nightwing Shade is actually quite a bit better than it's been in the past. Take an Abomination. That might or might not make the cut. Right now we're a little low on creatures, and it's fine. So it might just make it. All right, nothing here. We'll just take a Duress, but probably not play it. Take another Abomination, though 3/6 drop seems like it's getting to be a bit much. All right. Now the third pack. This is going to be a good one, I hope. Definitely have some stuff we could trim out of here that isn't exactly ideal. We want to be a slowdown deck. We want to hold the forces at bay until we can win with Sengir Vampires, Nightwing Shade, that kind of thing. Okay. Oh, right. I forgot this. There we go. Okay. I'm going to take a Water Servant here. Another Essence Scatter I'd love to have in the deck. Bloodbaron, not so much. Core Morphook, really not at all. Good green cards in the pack, but I mean, just really only one blue and one black card available, so we're not really going to be wheeling much here, but I really like Water Servant a lot. Ooh, Doomblade. Yes. I mean, Quagsickness, Time Ebb, Seacoast Drake, maybe even Bogbrew, which could all make the cut, but Doomblade is still Doomblade after all these years, and it's still great. Okay, this is an interesting one. So if we want to go for just an outright threat, we probably would just take Phantom Warrior. It's a lot like a Cursed Spirit, but it's just straight up unblockable, so you don't have to deal with any matchup stuff. It's just as fragile, but it costs a mana less, though being double means it often comes down on the same turn. But there's also Deathgaze Cockatrice over here, and I actually like this card quite a bit against, like, again, we're trying to be a little bit more defensive here, and I like this card against, like, the green decks quite a bit. Ooh. Yes, thank you. Man, yeah, there's a bunch of good stuff in here, but Colossal Whale is awesome. Really happy to pick that up. Guess I'll take the Condor, though. That is particularly unexciting, I will say. Really doesn't do much in a deck like this. Sensory Deprivation or a second Cancel. I'm going to go for the Sensory Deprivation. It takes care of some things that are pretty pesky for us, and it's much cheaper. It's also a nice thing that you can top deck to sort of neutralize a threat where cancel obviously doesn't fill that role. Nightwing Shade, yeah, I think I can cut this thing now. Probably going to be looking to run 18 lands here. We certainly have a lot of places to put our mana late in the game. Not going to play any of these. I don't think I'm going to play the Cankrix. So I'll just cut this Night Pack because it's kind of a pain for us. That seems a little wrong. Sweet. Got a nice early blocker there too to help stem any bleeding. This probably is going to be our deck right here. If we pick up something really sweet, we could run it, but could also substitute Mind Rot out for something and not really feel too bad about it, though I don't hate it in the deck either. This is definitely not a Frost Breath deck. But Spore Mound can actually create problems for a deck like this. You know, Sensory Deprivation and Divination and Disperse don't really do much against it. It still just sort of comes back down and starts making dudes, and it can actually overwhelm you eventually. You just want to cut off inevitability. I mean, we can answer almost every 1-for-1 that's around, but we just don't want to let our opponent get to the point where all they have to do is just sit there and either use up mana or in this case play lands or whatever and beat us, because yeah, our deck isn't perfect, that's for sure. I do like it though. This might be the deck here. I also might just cut the Blood Baron. It really isn't that great in a deck like this. Maybe I want the deck to be like that. What are we not playing? Duress, yeah, that's fine. Shrivel, that can come out of the board for some matchups. Tutor, I mean, tutoring up our whale is kind of fun, but like I don't think we really need to. We've got plenty of other big threats here. I mean, our deck is sweet. We got Jace's Mindseeker, Colossal Whale, Singur Vampire up top. We really just want to stay alive. I like running the Negate, the Essence Scatter, and the Cancel here. I think we can be really reactionary in the early stages. Train Condor is pretty bad. I think Blood Baron's probably better than Train Condor. I mean, Train Condor picking up a whale is kind of funny, but the fact is the whale really doesn't need much help. It's already a 5/5. It has Island Walk, so sometimes it's unblockable, and it gets the best blocker out of the way when it attacks. So there's just, it's kind of extra stuff with the Condor. I mean, you do get to run it out a little cheaper thanks to Warden of Evocile here. There's a few interactions that are nice, but I think this looks fine to me. I do want to run 18 lands here. I could also run 17 lands and just be on the draw every time, which also I think is pretty reasonable. Our curve's actually fairly decent. I mean, we do have some big stuff up top here. Yeah, I think I'm going to run 18. This thing says to go 10-8. Yeah, I think I actually agree with that. Normally I just go 9-9, but we do have a lot of blue early. We need to have a lot of blue mana available. You know, we want to be able to like play a Blood Baron and leave up a Negate or whatever. So, all right, let's submit this thing and see what it can do.